What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling amazing today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just fantastic, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. Having yourself has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Now, the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot cards based upon rule to hit the good old moon. I got to see her the other day. Yeah, I was really excited. No, I saw her the other day, Cancer. She was shining bright on her glory. I was having to come downstairs. I was like, what's this light on my shirt? Is that the moonlight? I got so pumped at Cancer, so it was really lovely to see her. And I invite, Cancer, when we're talking about all this stuff and following the stars, it's one thing to look at your chart and to listen to the readings and all these things, but really take a moment and look up at the sky there, Cancer, and feel the energies on you. Feel the warmth of the sun. Feel even the energy from the moon. It's a more subtle energy that she's giving off, but feel that energy there, Cancer. And even when there are maybe certain celestial events that are happening in the sky, just kind of tune in and the connection that you have, even looking up at the stars there, Cancer, how you can just kind of marvel at that. But about to get lost in the heavens there, Cancer. But I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you. Leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. It's a lovely energy that we got going on here, Cancer. And your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And Cancer, happy Mars Day. Hope you are feeling this great energy. Mars is a wonderful, Mars is associated with Tuesdays. And this is a great energy for getting active, Cancer. Maybe you have some physical labor that you need to do around the house. Maybe get some things moved. Maybe you're doing some, maybe, if you're planning a move, maybe plan to do the stuff on a Tuesday when you have more energy there, Cancer. This could be, too, something to play around with if you happen to do any sort of, like, working out or walking. Play around with the days, especially like Mars days, but even the Mars hours on the other days. See how that stuff resonates with you. Personally, I like doing, I'll do my workouts, like my strength training days, and like a workout on Mars day during Mars hour, Jupiter day during Mars hour, and then Saturn day during the last, literally the last Mars hour. It just falls perfectly on, it works out very nicely there, Cancer. But I mean, my body's been enjoying the shift, and it's been kind of syncing up with that cycle very nicely. So see how the energies work for you. Maybe you find yourself doing a lot of powerful thinking, maybe during Mars hour or Mars day during Mercury hour, and you can crank out a bunch of studying, So yeah, play around with these energies there, Cancer. See how this resonates with you. And also, Cancer, we are in a waxing, speaking of playing around, we're in a waxing Gibbous Moon in Leo. And this is a very fun placement for the moon, Cancer. Hold on. Think of yourself. Because when you think about Leo energy, or one of the things that I really like thinking about Leo energy is that it does embody that inner child type of energy when we're thinking about who we want to be and where we want to go. But when we're getting in the moon territory and thinking about our feelings, I feel this can be for some because even though the moon in Leo can be more uplifting, can be a joy, be an invitation for that kind of uplifting, enthusiastic energy. Sometimes we're kind of going through it and, we don't want to bring it. We don't want to do those things. But I feel that the moon, even if we're feeling kind of down in the dumps, what this moon invites us to do is to see what our inner child needs. The moon is our emotional needs. How do we nurture and take care of not just everybody else, but ourselves first and foremost? Because how can we take care of others if we can't take care of ourselves? And so this is a time I feel when it's great to kind of just see what's going on, to allow that introspective energy that you spent with Cancer, whatever that maybe have been reflected on, what it may have emotions that may have come up maybe during that first quarter phase, and allow yourself a space to act that kind of stuff out, whether this be maybe in your room, maybe this is in your bathroom, maybe this is in the shower, but just something to kind of understand where you're at, I feel, kind of on your journey, what is going on internally, and how is that manifesting into who you are. How is that, and not necessarily who you are for the long haul, but who you are and what path you're traveling down at this moment. How fascinating. I'm getting sidebar, Cancer. I said, speaking of paths, I just subscribed to this. There's this in one of the apps. It's Nomad. This guy, the creator of it, has this blog, or it's this website, this blog. I just literally just subscribed to it, but it's called Planetos, and he does take different pictures in nature, and we'll put little snippets, little poetry things, just something to think about, just it's a reminder, which I feel is very lovely for the energy that we're in. A reminder to just take in a moment and look at the little things and look at how powerful your surroundings can kind of impress on you. But I'm picturing the visual that just came up is he took this picture of this main road, and it's very clearly driven out and carved out, but there are these little side roads over here. And I feel that the moon, I feel like this energy, when we're thinking about the moon and like the dispositor of where the moon is, the sun shines light, it brightens things up. And so I feel that there can be, and this is too, Cancer, this is where I say maybe acting these things out, maybe this could be writing this stuff out, maybe this is drawing this, maybe this is singing about this is poetry. But I talk about that because it's like in that path, we can see, I feel like when we take all that internal stuff and put it out and actually kind of see the visual of what's going on inside and see how that's translating, we can maybe see how maybe we're more on track than we thought. Maybe these fears that may have been cooking up have been something that was more internalized than what's actually going on. Or this could be where, okay, yeah, I have gotten off my path a little bit. There is something that I'm needing to tend to. There's maybe this fight with such and such, or maybe there's been not enough this or that, or, just a kind of to see where the conflict kind of is, because now we're getting towards that full moon and kind of understanding what we're needing to release. Because I feel this full moon coming up is going to be a very potent one, considering that it's the first full moon that's starting off from this new moon, or from the new astrological year, but from this eclipse cycle in particular. There's that real potent energy. And we still have this Martian energy that the moon's going to be under when she's in Scorpio, but Pluto's going to be in the mix as well. There's this square that's happening with Pluto, as this is a lot of energies that are going to be coming up for this full moon, and Mars and Pluto are playing a very active role in this eclipse energy that's coming out. So yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about that more here soon. And actually, that's interesting. We're going to be talking about it at literally a week from today there, Cancer, so that's exciting. But yeah, this is a time I feel as where the Leo phase of this moon, when she's in this sign, is really kind of seeing who we are, understanding our personality, understanding because when I think about that development of Leo too, that sun energy can do with the sense of like that personality, the ego, and getting in that space. And the sun is in Aries, whether, thinking about that. So there is a lot of heat backed behind this, but a lot of self, a lot of questioning, who am I? In this energy too. And I feel this is understanding the difference between maybe like ego's needs and the ego wants, possibly, just understand that differentiation, and even going a bit deeper and understanding that between like the spiritual needs and the wants and things. And And just seeing how things are kind of lining up there, Cancer, it's very, and I feel in that clarity, it can bring a lot more uplifting, because then you're starting to shine bright again. That's where I feel the sun kind of comes through and kind of revitalizes again. It's like, even though we can have those dark moments when we're processing that stuff, the sun always rises. Even in the cloudy days, the sun's always behind those clouds. It's so just something I feel like to kind of think about with this energy, Cancer, when we're going forward, and just to remember to have fun and to play in these cycles here. With all the stuff, Leo energy is the time, and just thinking about even like fifth house stuff, the house that Leo is, the house that the Leo and Sun live in, is that energy to refuel through creativity, when we're getting in that psychic, because a lot of that tapping into that intuitive, doing the shadow work and stuff, it is draining. So you need some stuff to refuel you, Cancer, to work with this stuff. So it is something to be mindful of, Cancer. And if you're curious about how to work more with your energies, to get more in flow with who you are, and to understand just who you are in this journey, and see how the planets are personally affecting you, Cancer, you can book a reading with me. I have links down in the description box below with all the services that I provide. I also have links on my Instagram page as well. I'm getting better about that, Cancer. And I'm tightening up some stuff there too. But yeah, I'm thinking about even doing even a bit of a longer one for the chart ones, offering two, maybe do like an hour and a half ones. And then I have some stuff for the tarot readings as well. So just some options depending on the time that you have available to you there, Cancer. And if this is something where if we can't get times worked out, we can even get to where we're offering like a pre-recorded thing. Whatever this is, how we can work with this energy, work with the situation there, Cancer. But astrology and following these cycles and things can be very just beneficial to your journey if it's something that's been resonating with you, if you've been wanting to learn how to follow this stuff. And I'm a big person with as far as like routines, and my chart, Saturn's in my 6th house, and actually this full moon that's getting ready to come up is going to be like forming almost an exact square with my Saturn. So I'm kind of doing a little check-in work to see what's going on there. But it's fascinating when you understand this stuff for your charts, and you can take the time and start planning for these things, start doing that analysis. How am I feeling about, it can be very fascinating what goes on there, Cancer. So yeah, definitely check that out if that resonates with you. And then last few things there, Cancer, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the description box is loaded with information. It's the decks that I work with, the readers that I enjoy watching. There's astrologers, different resources down there for you to check out there, Cancer, from websites to apps to books. And I'm going to be adding more to that as I come across this stuff there, Cancer. So hopefully, just the more things that can help you just kind of avail yourself I figure keep it all in one source, the better. So hopefully you enjoy that there, Cancer. But let's get into your general energy of the day, which, look at you. I love your vibration here, Cancer. You got the B spirit here, which is prosperity. And that's something to get uplifted here with this Leo energy. But that's interesting too, because I feel that's interesting because this is the 5th card here, which is Hierophant energy. And when I think about the Hierophant, sometimes he reminds me of that initiatory phase in life. That is, how do we keep that faith even in the kind of harder times of life, Cancer? That feels like very kind of a big theme, even with what's going on with this conjunction that's happening with Jupiter and Uranus that's going to be happening here, depending on when you're watching this, in about 4 days. That'll be happening on Saturn Day, Cancer, on Saturday. So, but I feel that there's this energy where we are very abundant, Cancer. We're very prosperous. And I feel Leo energy is a reminder of that. Again, not just in stuff, but in just the vitality that life has to bring. There's so much prosperity in that. But how I feel things have been geared, we've been wired to live in this place of lack in spite of all of the abundance that is around. It's the lack that I almost feel with this kind of Pluto in Aquarius that the things that we give power to, like for example with money, I'm not saying that we can't, that money isn't useful for what it is, but you know, look how much stress that it has provided, and that it's put on people in general environment. And so where it didn't used to always, sure, we had to think about those types of things, but it never was so difficult. You know, thinking about going back to a childhood phase, you know, I'm a kid of the 90s, and, you know, I can't speak for times prior to that, but I feel like the 90s, where, you know, even going into when I started to like drive and things, you could get it figured out. I mean, apartments were what? I remember my first apartment was, I had a 1-bedroom apartment, bathroom, everything. It was like $400 in Michigan, and now I can't get can't get a studio for that. So it's things have been tough, but I do feel that this is where and believe me, Cancer, I do. I'm right there with you. But I feel this prosperity is understanding that it is the prosperity that maybe you're looking for is coming. You know, but I feel that there is this. We're all kind of going through this sort of test right now. And I feel like it's not like the universe is testing us. I feel like our own personal test. There's this goal that we want. You know, you think about every lunar phase, every new lunar cycle, that we're aiming towards something that we want. You know, we're wanting something that it's embodying. You know, I feel like it's being in that energy before you get to it. It's like this is giving me like a 9 of Cups energy, because you can be in that energy and feel that before you actually have it, but it feels achievable. And that's the energy that I feel like we're trying to be in despite the hard times. You know, that it's keeping that will, it's keeping that hope. Let me get some tarot on this, Cancer, and get some details with this. Because the interesting thing too with that energy, and I'll be talking about that on my other channel a bit more, but this is happening in the sign of Taurus, which is the sign of security, of stability. And I feel there is prosperity that can be had, but it's going to be one, because it's happening in Taurus, it's going to be where we're going to need to be patient. It's going to be Jupiter in Taurus and Uranus don't form conjunctions very often. So when they do, it is a big deal. I feel there will be this kind of catalyst for inspiration and an understanding. Absolutely, full energy. But I feel it's going to be something where we have to, it's one thing to be in the vibration, but it's how do you sustain that energy even in the tough time. You know, and I love that we're talking about that with this bee being here, staying in that frequency of abundance. But let's get some, I love that. Speaking of abundance, 10 of Cups here, Cancer, and the Queen of Discs. Cancer, this is going to be a prosperous reading. So you got the 10 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, the 2 of Disc, the Queen of Disc, the 2 of Wands, and the Fool card here, Cancer, Uranus energy. And where do you want to start? Let's see. Let's start with this 10 of Cups here, Cancer, because this is, you know what, Cancer? Sometimes what I feel when we're working towards something and we're getting into this, like when we run into like delays in things, or we run maybe into crossroads, or we're, you know, just uncertainty in things, I feel like there's it's appreciating those roadblocks, those energies of uncertainty, because they provide you a moment to pause and to really kind of think where we're kind of jumping into next. And because the 7 of Cups here is this energy, can be this energy of options, but where I'm going with this, the 10 of Cups, it's interesting on this card, is the card of satiety. And when you're thinking about that, I feel like the universe is setting us up when we're in these delays and things, is to give us a chance to integrate what we're learning, to let the 2 of Discs, to let the changes come to work their way into our flow, work the way into our schedule here. Because if we got everything that we wanted at once, we may think we may know what to do with that, but it could lead to this overwhelm. For a great example, I remember listening to someone, they're working on this business, and they were having this where everyone else was having trouble landing clients. This person was having the exact opposite. They were literally overabundant, and they were overwhelmed and didn't know what to do, and was like booked, and then like, how do I schedule this stuff? And like, sure, you may make a lot, you're about to maybe make a lot of resources, but it's just like the Queen of Disc here. It's like you inheriting a bunch of land, but then what do you do with it? Now I have to hire people to maybe build on this land, to tend to this land, or I have to tend to this land myself, where before these delays and things were helping you to get skills to, okay, these are the changes that you want. Let's get you in harmonies with that. Let's get you taking this path first towards this thing, and then get you taking this next step and this next step, so that you don't overload yourself, so that you maintain. I feel like it's getting this. It's establishing this steady flow, like, because that's what I feel Jupiter in Taurus has been wanting over this last year, is to get the energy, the abundance in a steady type of flow, to see opportunities for abundance as they're popping up. But when we stay in the lack sense, then we miss out on things. Then stuff starts to slow down and get kind of mucked up there. It does become, this is a card of debauch, and it does become a bit tainted, because we're not seeing things clearly. We do miss the and not necessarily miss the opportunities, but we walk past an easier route, possibly. So but I do feel, Cancer, again, that it is keeping that dream in mind with the Ten of Cups, remembering the long game here, as far as like, where you're focused, especially when you find yourself maybe coming against any sort of like challenges or any sort of crossroads here. And I feel, Cancer, this is Mars and the Two of Wands, this is Mars and Aries, and Mars will be entering Aries here soon on the 30th of April, if I'm remembering correctly. I want to say it is the 30th of April. Both him and Venus are going to be in their home, are going to be domicile. Both, both of them. So I think Venus enters the day before. So I feel that times are going to be changing, Cancer. Things are going to be, it's a slow shift, but I see the signs. Things are starting to like just kind of bubble up there, Cancer. For example, one more thing, and then I'm getting in this head where I wanted to like start like doing like podcasts and things, and like it's like, okay, how am I going to go about this? Like, who am I going to go to reach out to? And then actually an opportunity presented to discuss on another Readers That I Totally Enjoy's channel. And it's just like by setting these intentions. So it's like, yes, could things be better with where I want them to be? Absolutely. But there are things that are coming to the mix, the little victories. And that's got to kind of feel too, Cancer. This can be, well, let's get some more tarot on this. Speaking of Uranus, things are changing, Cancer, with that Uranus being in Taurus. And this conjunction, I feel, is going to, it's a big, it's a big one, Cancer. Hold on, let me just tell you what just happened here, Cancer. Thank you, by yourself. I love that. So both Mars and Venus are here, strong as ever. I was just talking about you too. And then, let's see what else you got here, Cancer. Nice. So you have the Five of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Princess of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and then the Emperor and the Empress and the Tower here, Cancer. And with the Empress, the Empress is abundance. The Empress is, the Empress is one that that in the face of change, in the face of kind of these tower energies of upheavals, of maybe even disappointments, Five of Cups, where we have these a lot of like, you know, the Five of Cups can be where we're feeling a lot of strong emotions, where we're feeling this kind of reactive, sort of like just overwhelming type of energy here. And the Empress, in the face of those energies, in the face of that disharmony, finds balance, finds way to stay in that prosperity. And I feel like it's doing things that allow her, that make her feel prosperous. It's really doing to, I feel like that energy of self-care that's coming through with this Ace of Cups to the Empress, being in that kind of nurturing, receptive type of energy. And I even feel too, because this Five of Cups here being a card of disappointment is maybe we're feeling that the prosperity isn't here. Maybe it has been more Tower than it has been Empress. But again, the Tower makes space for the Empress to grow. And I feel that it's seeing there, as these changes to a disc are coming into play, it's like things start making sense in hindsight with the Princess of Swords. The interesting thing about her background is that, you know, there's a lot, her background's very busy. It seems almost a little kind of tumultuous, a little chaotic, and I feel like that can be the thought sometimes when we're in that disappointment where we feel like we asked for something but the universe maybe, or that universe is taking longer than we're wanting to. But this has been, especially with Mercury being retrograde, Mars being in Pisces, it's been a slower type of energy that we've been in. I feel the signs have been there, that bigger motion is coming, but there are things that I feel are needing to be, that are still, I feel like almost uncovering here, because there's a lot of strong Mars energy here now that I'm really kind of looking at your cards. The Ten of Cups is Mars in Pisces, and I was telling you about the Two of Wands, and even the Five of Cups is another hot card of Mars. This Mars in Scorpio. So I feel this could be, I'm feeling this as a lot of maybe frustration here, a lot of energy that we're maybe wanting to get moved here with the Knight of Wands. But again, I feel like it's something where patience is going to be the name of the game here, Cancer, because I feel abundance is coming. It really is already here, Cancer, but it's just like, I feel it's, because Venus doesn't go retrograde this year. And so I feel that the energy flow is but it's just we need to be receptive to the flow of this energy here Let's get some advice from the Sun, Cancer. Let me get a little bit, let's wrap this up here. And this, Cancer, could be, yeah, because I was just thinking with, you got the Three of Swords here, and that could be a tougher energy. And I was just thinking with when we're feeling the Five of Cups, Three of Swords, going through Tower moments, it is hard to stay in that energy, that prosperous vibration, to pull yourself out of that with that Leo energy, staying hopeful. I struggle with it too, Cancer. You know, even though I have a bunch of Leo placements, those Leo's placements are, I look to my Sun placement to see what's going on with them, and all my Leo placements are associated with, you know, a Cancer Sun in the 12th house. So it's a lot of sensitive and emotional energy that's coming through with that. So my emotions play a real big factor. Granted, can I find it? Sure, when I need to. But a lot of times that's kind of tough. You know, it can be. So, but I feel that it's finding different ways to express this, to feel this, whether this be through motion, through creativity, anything that allows you to express yourself. I feel you can take that into Virgo and really kind of craft that skill, and it almost kind of couples with what you're doing. This is something that a new ability has popped out of your focus or whatever you were trying to do. I've been appreciating more rituals in my day, but And then instead of looking at them as routine, looking at them at more as ritual. Thank you, higher self. Let's get your last cards here, Cancer. Love it. Look at this energy here, Cancer. So you have the Four of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Prince of Cups, the King of Cups. Oh, did I mention the Six of Swords here, Cancer? Got a lot going on here. And then let's finish this up with the Emperor, hubby. All right, Cancer, let's switch back over. Because, you know, Cancer, I'm getting an energy here. One with the Emperor. Because the fact that you got Mars, Aries here now, and the Two of Wands, that's a very action-oriented energy. But I feel it's one that, again, Mars and Pisces, it's one that's needing to be a little tempered. I feel this Mars energy is going on faith. You know, that's Hierophant energy when I'm thinking about that sometimes. Like the Hierophant can be associated with like the Pope and things. I'm thinking of something a bit bigger than, you know, what we're tuning into with Mars being in that energy. And, you know, this can bring up a lot of depression, a lot of melancholy, a lot of things may come up for you, Cancer, that a lot of stuff that I feel, again, create a safe space for that, to understand what is going on, to tend to those emotions there, the Empress. Because I feel that there are the Prince of Cups. I remember talking about the crab in this card being the power that represents the power of the ocean. And there are powers in these emotions that are coming up, new tools that are coming up, new pathways, I even feel, with the Six of Swords being here. Understanding the science, even this, that's interesting. Understanding the science behind abundance, because that's always a very fascinating one with the Six of Swords, how this is a card of science. And I feel that this is almost, I feel like, even leaving behind maybe the collective thoughts of what prosperity is. Getting even out of, because this is Mercury in Aquarius, and it's for thinking for yourself, where, yes, of course, we have bills and we have things that we need to take care of, but thinking about the things that truly make you prosperous too. You know, having having your emperor or your empress by your side, you know, through these kind of tough times here. Or if we're not with someone, be feeling at balance with ourselves, even thinking about the Hierophant, that's Taurus energy, being at peace with oneself, with the changes. And it's not to say that you don't feel this stuff, but you can find a way to get yourself back grounded again. And then once the dust settles, see an opportunity to initiate your own type of change here, Cancer. In the Four of Swords here, I feel there's rest that's needing to happen here, Cancer. I feel like maybe especially if you've been feeling maybe really overly stressed out here, the Prince of Cups can keep things kind of bottled up. Maybe you've been dealing with some Three of Swords there. Been trying to maybe keep on an optimistic face. And this could be maybe even for some needing to let that guard down a little bit. And again, as it makes sense, allow yourself to feel that a little bit, to gain some emotional wisdom with this Knight of Cups energy that's coming through here. That's interesting. It's like they have such different, when you point them this way, it's like they have opposing views, but I feel the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands are trying to go for the same thing. But there are times when we're applying heat, and I feel there are times when we're applying like a cool salve or something, like an ointment or something, to kind of give the muscles a time to relax and a time for reprieve. We're always so in motion, and a need to, there's this anxiety, I feel like that's all the time, and it messes with that prosperity frequency. So yeah, Cancer, these are some things, I feel like doing some things to make you feel abundant, taken care of. And I feel like even being mindful too, you know, with the Seven of Swords. Because where I am all for acknowledging that there are, you know, I don't ignore the Three of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Tower energies in this, you know, that can seem these kind of harsher warnings here. But I do feel that we do want to be truthful with the Seven of Swords. It's just like this journey isn't all just fatalistic, and that things are just not going your way, and that universe hates you. There are positive things to there too. That's just a mindset that we've been put into. You know, that we've been, as soon as there's a little bit of friction, we're not sure what to do. You know, so it's like learning to resist a little bit more, to keep that frequency even in the face of these changes, because something is happening, Cancer, and it's a practice. You know, we had to find little tools and things, and it's like as a kid, you learn these things, this stuff as you grow and mature into this cycle. And yeah, Cancer, I think I'm gonna leave that there. So if you like that, Cancer, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this, Cancer. If you know someone who's been, maybe, because I feel this energy can bring prosperity. And it's just, I feel it's with this conjunction that's happening, but I feel it's going to be a different level of prosperity. You know, and I feel like and I would also say too, with this disappointment with the Five of Cups, that if something doesn't happen, let's say for even example, like with like my vision board for the year, I see things, one of the things, for example, is that I'm working on getting out of debt. And I've gotten something set up, everything's getting resolved, and it's going to take a few years to get there, but now it seems so much more attainable than what it was before. It's like it's been like a huge weight off my shoulders. And so this is something where it may not be solved immediately, but it is something solved. You know, 10 of Cups, it's, I don't, you know, well, that's not the basic thing, but you know, like, that's just one example of things, you know. So sometimes prosperity is delayed, or prosperity takes its time, you know, and there's lessons in that. And there was a lesson that I did, you know, of financial responsibility, all of these things. So, and it's the Hierophant energy, these things are teachers, you know. But and subscribe there, you royal. This is Empress energy. Hit that bell button to get notified when I release videos each week or each day. And then, yeah, last little bit there, Cancer. If you're wanting to, you know, maybe you've been feeling a little bit, because Cancer, I do get it. You know, I remember where I had a lot of, I remember being just surrounded by abundance and just miserable. And it was just because I wasn't really tuned in. I was so checked out, you know. And then what I personally, I feel astrology helps is it invites a question. It doesn't tell you who you are and that's it. You know, it doesn't keep you in that box. I like to think of it as it's a map. It's a note from higher self, and you get a chance to decipher it however you want. It's a message that only you and your universe knows. You know, it's your galaxy to play around with and to enact however you want it to. And that's where it gave me this purpose to kind of ask myself, well, why is that? You know, okay, well, maybe can I change this? You know, oh, that's because of this. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Maybe there's something I can do about that. Maybe I can see the brighter side of this. You know, it's the perspective shift is profound. You know, at least it can be. You know, I feel when you're able to put it into actionable steps, because it's one thing to understand all the tarot and things, but then it's just like, what do we do about that? You know, maybe we're putting up sticky notes, maybe we're journaling this stuff, maybe where I saw someone was working, I like to do like my checklist by paper. Someone was doing their checklist with their notes and had a whole thing set up throughout the week. It was real. I thought it was a very savvy way of working with the notes. So, you know, just little things like that help you work for you. Everyone's different, and so it's understanding that unique signature, that unique galaxy that is you there, Cancer. And it's always so wonderful to just look at just marvel at it. It does delights my Leo placements just to see just how expansive, you know, because last little thing, Jupiter's conjunct my ascendant, so how I process this energy is always very big, you know. And when I see people's charts, I always see the biggest in them, you know, what it could be, and it may not manifest like that, and that's okay, you know. But it's always fascinating to see how it is, and sometimes it manifests in ways I didn't think it could. So it's just cool to see, and then to take that and to apply it to the next thing, to give another example of, you know, but to know that it's unique for them. So, but yeah, that's something that resonates with you there, Cancer. Absolutely book a reading down with me. I have links down in that description box and on my Instagram, and I'll be expanding as well, being more social. And, you know, we all have our things that we're working through there, Cancer. So, and all that housekeeping, Cancer. And that's all I got for. Oh, and then actually, Cancer, after we're done checking out your chart, come over to my other channel, Alchemist State. I do weekly videos, and you can see collectively how these energies are working. I talk about the astrology that's going on and how that may affect your chart. So it's a great old time there, Cancer. And I'm actually thinking about doing some other cool little things on there too. And all the housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Cancer. So I can get you out of here. So you got the Seven of Discs, Cancer. And this is a card of failure in this deck. You know, but failure can be the greatest of teachers. Because you never know failure unless you were brave enough, Emperor, to go after your dreams. Ten of Cups. You know, to dream of Empress. And you can still be an Empress. You know, just because one pathway didn't work, that just gives you notes. Like, okay, I know what doesn't work, but now I have all these other, instead of looking at it maybe as, oh my gosh, like what can work, it gives me, instead of like, I can look at it as, oh, I have all of these other things to work with. That just one thing didn't work for me like that. And maybe even, it might have been my jam, but I might have just need to do this and do X. So the Seven of Discs, I feel, failure can be great feedback. You know, more than even success, because sometimes you do something in a moment and you're just like, oh, I'm not sure how I did that. I was just in the flow. Failures, it's just like, oh, I wasn't in the flow because of maybe there was something going on in the family. Maybe there was something going on within myself. Maybe there were some money things I need to get taken care of, some resource things, you know? And I feel that the Seven of Discs it just reminds you that this whole thing is a process. It's Saturn and Taurus. And absolutely. It's Saturn and Taurus. Think of yourself. I'll tell you why I'm laughing in a moment. But it's Saturn and Taurus, and it can feel like maybe our abundance is being restricted, that things aren't growing the way that we thought. But Saturn is, especially in Taurus, Saturn actually, I feel like, does very well in Taurus, because he's asking you to chill, to put in the work, to build quality, to really ask, like, is this, oh, it's like in school, like, you know how you would like slap together, you know, time got away from you, you would slap together something really quick you presented to the teacher. And have you ever had the teacher just like, I'm gonna give you, or seen like in that scenario, maybe in like a movie where it's like, you know, I'm gonna give you this back and give you, because I know this is not what you're capable of. I've seen you do your best work. I don't know what's going on, but let's try that again and really bring it this time. And that's what I feel that Saturn does for this energy. But also, Cancer, you got the Bobcat spirit here, which is the 8th card, Strength card, which is Leo energy. So how appropriate. But you got the Life is a Mystery card. And, you know, Cancer, life is a mystery, but there is enough prosperity. The one mystery is, or that thing that's not a mystery, is that there, no matter what people or what anyone says, there is enough prosperity and abundance for all of us. How this notion has been debauched is interesting, but it doesn't mean I feel like it's something that has to to stay that way. You got a lot. I'm just even just kind of looking too here, Cancer. Before we go, you got a lot of sevens here. I think all we're missing is the Seven of Wands, but you know, the sevens, those are like alternative means. You know, looking for alternative routes here, and so I feel that this could be where if especially if something hasn't been working and maybe we've been kind of hitting our head against a wall, that may be just a time to just pause for a moment and just kind of reassess. Okay, what is going on? What is getting in the way of my frequency? And what am I willing to do about it? And to meet yourself at where to meet yourself where you're at with the answer that comes up for you, Cancer. So if that makes sense. All right, Cancer, but I think I'm gonna leave that there. But stay mindful out there, Cancer. Keep your wits about you. Stay aware. Tune into the moon cycle there, Cancer. Feel these energies. Have some fun, you know, trying to find a way. And you don't have to necessarily spend anything to have some fun. This could get outside, maybe just go bask in the sun, maybe go do a cartwheel. You can cartwheel. I don't know if I can cartwheel. But, or go do something that maybe resembles like a cartwheel. Whatever, Cancer. And I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.